What's up, everybody, and welcome back to UFTA. We are going to be exploring any new topics that come up during a experimental game session, and I'm really excited because I should be able to maybe show off a new set of components. We'll see what happens. But I think in the meantime, we're just going to go ahead and forge on, put on our protective equipment gear, and see what happens. And brave the travails of UFTA, right? So yeah, UFTA prides itself on, comparatively speaking, it's short. It's a brief experience, as long as you don't keep yammering on the way I do. You can briskly play. Among experienced UFTA players, we're talking. I played it within 45 minutes. So play with the experience and you'll be done. So definitely a benefit. This person decides to fight back, though. They say, okay, wait a minute, I want to negotiate instead. They initiate negotiation, and so sabotage, which would have been it's like a potential action. It didn't happen, so now no action has occurred if they agree to negotiate. And I say, hey, I don't want you to mess with that piece. What do you want from me? And they say, hey, why don't we just take this adversity card and they say, oh, I'm going to take this and maybe 2 tokens. And they're like, this is what the person is giving up. The other person is in the position to say yay or nay. And they say, okay, why not? Think about this. We got 2 cards. Awesome. So then we have 2 tokens, right? 2 tokens to boot. So that seemed like a pretty good deal for them. And moreover, they have 2 actions left on their turn, so I'm thinking maybe this party lost out on that one. But they really wanted to keep their P's, so in the meantime, this player will continue on. Okay, so now we did that. So everybody's got a adversity card. This player may play it though. Holy crap. Okay, so check it out. Pretty nice deal. So do we play the card now or not? Right? Yikes. They're going to get sabotaged. This deck is going to get shuffled again, so why don't we just go ahead and play the card? Play the card on both of them, and everybody loses their stuff. Because floods are not very nice. Okay, so we got that. And now they're moving on. Okay, cucumber, kale, peas. As a 2. What do I do with the 2? Nothing at this point. Except move peas or beans down. Yikes. Okay, so this is where things really hurt. Trying to get that undercut crop is hard because check this out. Blam. I move that. I move it. Or I could move the peas down. No. Yeah, but here's where skillful tact and diplomacy might yield greater benefits. Because check this action out. Let's put this back. I have the beans. I have the beans in the nice spot here. It's in the low spot. I have the option of moving anything I want. I could move the peas. Well, I happen to see that the grower over here has peas in that position. So I can negotiate with them and make a great deal and say, hey, I can put you in the catbird seat over there if you want. And, even though there's nothing officially in the game that will be a direct result of that transaction, the goodwill fostered between growers might yield better outcomes for everyone, right? Maybe. Okay, so let's just do that. Here we rolled a 2. Ah, yeah. So they're even more excited. This grower over here is more excited because Lady Luck, the gods of bountiful, whatever you want to call it, good fortune, are shining upon them. Not bright like a diamond though, because that's copyrighted and expensive. Okay, so we got this, and now we're going to what are we gonna do? We got peas, and now what do we do with this? We got more peas, and so yeah, we're gonna move. The original idea was to move the peas, right? So in that particular case, we didn't even need this grower, so that may be even better. Okay, so what do we do with these adversity cards, you know? We're in great shape. Early in the game, I could play these, or I could really, really clean house. You know, let's look at our goodies. They're both outstanding, right? You know, having the ability to purchase the cards just adds tremendous dynamism to gameplay, right? We have a wide range of options now. I feel at this particular point that this player has overkill. If they play the cards, play it on one person, you're wasting it, right? But look how much they're going to score, right? 12 tokens. Sheesh. To keep? Not to keep. I don't know. I just like the long-term potential of those cards. It's just, it's a tough call in Ufta. There's no right or wrong answer, and that's what we like. That's what we like. Hold them or hold them, right? Sabotage. Okay, sabotage over here. Or score. Tough choice. I don't know. Maybe we just score, right? But look at this. I mean, look how powerful they are. They got the peas sitting there in that first slot. Yikes. See, here's one where you're taking one for the team, or maybe you're just setting yourself up for future. You don't have to deal with somebody in the future who's growing in power. You know, the Mountain of Sauron over here is about ready to erupt with malevolence, right? So why don't we just move this down? Okay? That's also copyrighted. Okay, so there's that. So that's good. Now they're still threatening over there. Now I have 2 people that have crops. So this makes adversity cards way more impressive, right? So they're going to play that. Beans and corn. Very well and adieu. There's corn, beans. Fair Spanish ladies. Okay, so yeah, we played the card, wiped them out as an activity. That's all we could do. Okay, so moving on. Hello, sabotage. Et tu, Brute? See, check it out. So now we got peas. They're going to be sabotaged. So see, that's where it kind of bites you in the back. If you want to play diplomacy intact, you can play that angle, right? But you can also, you go on the warpath, people notice, and they might begrudge you, right? And so, Ufta's a very, that's where the deeper psychological mind game comes in, right? Which ultimately adds more pleasure to the experience. Okay, so here we go. We got broccoli, we got radishes. What do we got here, Chief? We got I'm really proud of the game mechanism that has to do with the hidden info with the cards with the coins in the cup, because then you're dealing with we don't really know how much people are spending. We can see on the field, we can see from our vantage point in the game what they're scoring, but what is it that they're spending, right? And that, to me, the more pleasurable outcome is keeping that under wraps, right? Because, the general advice out there with games is everybody needs to know the score at all times, but that's also fighting a huge school of thought that says, you're dealing with suspense and surprise, right? To use terminology from the filmic world, right? So you got, limited information, withheld information, which changes gameplay and makes things a little bit more appealing and exciting. So always that kind of constant interaction between suspense, surprise, and knowledge and hidden knowledge, right? They're always in flux, and so we don't know really what is the most pleasurable outcome. This particular case, we don't know a lot. Well, I'm not going to belabor the point. Let's just go ahead and move on. So we have chart. No chart. Trading may be available. Maybe not. Okay, so now this person has a tough choice. Play the adversity card or keep it. We're on radishes. Still early in the game. Situation is, I only have one player down with a crop in the field, and so it's overkill. It's wasting the card, in my opinion. So maybe we hang on to it. Okay, so yeah, we like what we have in this corner. Check it out. What's the strategy here? We got 2 peas, right? And that's our undercut crop, which we're striving so desperately to bring about. So what if we do the radishes, bring the radishes up here, right? And we bring them down. So now we got a good, I like our odds in this corner. Bad timing for sabotage, but they could remove that adversity card. And then this grower might put up a fight. They might say, whoa, wait a minute. Let's think this over. I got some nice, how about this? You like this action? Yeah, but boy, that's really giving up a lot. Right? So yeah, they're going to give up their adversity card. They lost it. Ouch, that hurts. Sabotage. And then, what do you think? Do you think that's too powerful? We still have the second action. I don't know. There's no clear-cut answers here. There's nothing certain. Broccoli on the wrong one is 8. If you had complete certainty about everything, I guess you'd live a more balanced and happy life, I suppose. But it would also be dull. There's no excitement if you already know everything all the time. Right? What is the point? Alright, so let's just move on. We got 4 over here. Another corner. Yeah, first big decision. We're not sure about that flood card, so the lion is prowling in the forest. We do not want to mess with the lion, so we're gonna just stay out of the way. Yeah, check it out. So here's where things are really kind of mind-blowing. The level of difficulty can increase in Hoopta exponentially. Check this out. We put protection on here, but oh wait, no, that's right. We get to keep the tokens. I changed that to make life easier. It was just getting a little too complex, so you get to keep the 10. Horn on the right one is 10. So, yep, that was a good idea. Okay. Notice that you can always change out the tokens if you run out, right? You can always just lift the cup and then change them out where you need to, right? So 2. No tractor. Oh wait, let me block that. Okay, so check it out. No tractor available. And we're going to play it on this grower, right? So they give them the card. They give them the card, but it doesn't get turned over until it's their turn. Right? That might be a little confusing. I'm not sure. You know, when you give them the card, maybe it should be turned like special. Like this way. Maybe you can put it on top of their cup. I don't know. Whatever you do, you can use house rules. Use your own creativity. Just figure it out. Maybe you can put it on the cup. They're like, oh yeah, I can't do anything because I have this adversity card. This sort of makes sense, right? Yeah. See, this is an organic idea that just sprang up. I just thought of this. Like, you know, technically, yeah. Like, if you're going to be productive, something's got to go in the cup, right? Well, put a lid on the cup. You got an adversity sitting there, Chief. Huh. What do you think about that? That I did on my own. So that's kind of what's cool about experimentation. You can think about things and then just see if they fail. If they fail, they fail. Throw a few more darts at the dartboard, right? So there's adversity. Yeah, so we play the card and we're done. Okay, wow, nobody had a card, so we've got growing season renewal. And now double sabotage is allowed. So what am I going to do? Double sabotage means, all the gamble tokens reset. Nobody is gifted with rewards, which is a shame, but it happens. These are the big one. Turn 3 crops to uncultivated. Okay, so now we shuffle. This is like a very minor. You know how your software updates are like, yeah, this is version 15 point whatever. Well, Ooptis had very minor tucks. Very minor nips and tucks to it, right? So we don't need to add flash or bangs and whistles or whatever you want to call them. It's steady and solid. So we have beans. Okay, but now here's where middle game gets pretty interesting, right? Here's where the middle game opens up, and now we have a vast universe to explore. The cosmos remains a mystery. We don't know what to do. Okay, so 4 productive is nice. Let's try our first purchase of the game. Look how late in the game we made a first purchase. This is rare. You know, every game is unique, which makes it very difficult to come to a consensus about anything. I can't say definitively that this and this will occur. And so that provides the deeper pleasure. We gather the harvest. Or we could look at. Yeah. This is unusual because everybody has amounts that will give them access to more important items in the resource shop, which provides more flexibility, of course. So it's unusual. First purchases was an earlier video, and it remains pertinent. So we're just going to see what happens. I bought the harvester and a disc. Now we might be looking at 2 crop combos, right? We'll try it. So now it gets riskier. So here's 6 back. It gets riskier. Okay, sabotage. I guess I did the math wrong. See? So here's where you got to be careful with math and budgeting. I overspent, and that was a mistake, so I didn't have quite the funds I needed. This is 3 depreciated tokens though, right? So I could turn that in. If I turn that in, I get the 3 tokens, but it's still not quite enough, is it? I'm not going to pay for harvesting, but I got 2, 4, 6, 8 tokens total I need. Ooh, boy, talk about thin. This is very thin. The margins are thin. The amount of money going out and the amount of money coming in is razor thin. So you got to be careful. Broccoli. Boy, but I could score big. I could score big. Let's just play it safe here. I hate that, playing it safe too much, no risks, means very little reward, right? So we got broccoli. But you're safe. Congratulations, you're safe. Okay, there's sabotage. And see, now I got a problem here. A lot of pressure, they're probably not going to get sabotaged. Everybody knows this player. The natural human psychology kicks in, and we take it easy on them. You go, over here, we say, hey, sabotage that broccoli. They say, no way. So now you got to give up, let's say, this and something nice. Your potatoes. So they give up potatoes. Okay. Yeah, but they get to keep their stuff. So that was a negotiation. So they get 2 actions left. That's a pretty good deal. Because now we're cooking. Flip all these over, and now we have potatoes and peas. We got chard and kale. We got chard, we got kale. We did all that, now we're planting. So we got 5 and a 1 back. Protect. Here's where protections in the market come into play, because now we can lock things down. Nobody owns a trading house yet, right? Or we could spend nothing and just get our stuff. That's the ideal scenario. Is it the more likely scenario? Not really, right? Look at all these adversity cards sitting out here. So that, again, changes your perception of reality, and we get into the spending more. But we don't have quite the budget to do this, do we? We can liquidate 1 adversity card, so we really have 3 tokens. Gotta know your budgets. 10, 11, 12, then we got technically 6 more points over there. But only on a turn you can only liquidate 1, right? So we're gonna leave it alone. Okay, but do we use the adversity card? And yes we do. Probably the answer. Oh, but man, okay, so difficult decision I don't want to make. We got squash, we're ready to start the growing season over. I got 2 adversity cards sitting here, ready to accumulate serious value. Or I could go sabotage my opponents, right? Am I greedy, or do I need to go on the offense? Which is key at this particular moment. It's a key, you do game analysis, key moment in the game, right? So I think what we do is we sit on the cards, and we don't do anything. Yikes, that could be scary wrong. I don't know. There's not 1,000 years of UFTA games to check in on yet, right? So the cucumber's on the wrong one. It's 7. They needed to score so badly. One drawback is I never know quite what the tokens amount should be in the game. And if you have to look your cup, it does kind of destroy the illusion of concealed information, right? Because we're depending on that to create a better game. We like hidden information from a game standpoint. Okay, squash goes to cucumbers. So now, look at this. This person, they knew when to hold them, so they scored big. This person also scored, so that's good. Okay, so back to cucumbers. And we can harvest for free now. The F word. Okay, broccoli on broccoli is the worst word if you're in a business. Broccoli on broccoli. Yeah, now the pressure's on to be a little bit more vocal about going on the attack. I could really focus on productivity to catch up with them, or I could limit their opportunities right now. Yeah, middle game usually involves protections in the market and setting up 2 crop combos, if possible. If possible. It's not always possible. Here we have a 2, which is, we'll move those cucumbers down. Oh boy, so now we got a race to the finish. Now we got a race to the finish. You know, maybe this player doesn't win, but they can still be the kingmaker, right? So that's okay. There's a flood card. What do I do with the flood card? Anybody? Gotta keep that thing. Because I know things. I know things that other people don't know. Right. 4 is productive. We're going to go with 18. We're going to go with 10 tokens. I really want a 2 crop combo. It'll be 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 18, 12 tokens. Very little protection. And very big offense over here. So, tough decision. What's out? I'd have to go. I'd have to. Why don't we buy a cultivator? Let's buy this. Let's buy that. Protect ourselves a little bit. I'm the bad guy. Okay, sabotage nothing. We're not gonna sabotage that. They're ready to score big. So, we got potatoes. We got charred corn, cucumbers. Not enough for. Let's liquidate first. We're liquidating, and now we've got spinach and carrots. Let's try that. It's not a very good crop combo, but it'll give us something. Okay. Looking good? This game's turning out to be a little longer than expected because we've got low productivity. Okay. But here we're going to cultivate, harvest. Fascinating game. Very fascinating game. Nobody scored early, so this game is a little longer than normal. Notice that we can do this, right? It's not reneging because we're not reneging because it's still our turn. You're only reneging when you pass the die. If you pass the die, that's it. So play this card. Oh yeah, they can't. Okay, so check it out. This this grower that's in last place, look at their good stuff. Right? And we'll look over here too. They're gonna do it now. Now's the time for them to act. The Kingmaker effect. So everything comes off the field. But now, see how we have a unique scenario. We have protection in the market, so those can't be moved, even by they aren't moved by adversity cards. They're only moved by sabotage. So what we're gonna do is we got cucumbers. The beans and the cucumbers come off. Beans stay put, and cucumbers stay put, because they're both affected by items that are locked in the market. So then when the chard and this cucumbers come off, this doesn't affect that either. But otherwise they've lost everything, so that is outstanding. Okay, so now we're ready for the wild finish. Let's see what happens. Things are heating up. Not many items left in the bag. This grower's turn. They've been decimated, right? They've been decimated. Yikes, there's so much competition. But that's a good thing. So they're going to spend, they're going to plant everything. Because they want to get this over. But notice how, they don't have that many tokens, right? They have assets but not tokens. That's the real game, isn't it? So there's that. But now they're just going to flip over one item to bankrupt themselves. That's the strategy here. Really late in the game. So then somebody else gets to look at all their stuff. Sabotage. Yeah. They're going to sabotage them in a big way. Okay, so here now we're going to attack the market, right? We're going to take 10 tokens completely off of there. What are their chances for that? That's the end of their turn. Oh boy. Do we do that, or do we, maybe we just slow down their productivity entirely? Let's do that instead. Boy, this is an exciting finish. Okay, so there's that. Because this could go either way. Now they don't have enough tokens to bring that all in, so they're just focusing on this. 5. 3 back. 2 cup. And they have to pay the harvester on it. Chart on the wrong one. It's chart on the wrong one is 10 tokens. Notice how that market protection doesn't, even though this came to fruition, a marker token in the market doesn't come to fruition. Like, they don't gather. As far as I can tell, I don't think they don't get to collect, because otherwise it'd be too hard to figure out who did what. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. That's my tentative idea for the market, which is a late, if you can think of like the latest revisions to anything, that's kind of the latest seems what it's doing. God, what a terrible. If I were to document, if I were to time out and analyze their game, it was like 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 2 2, which is that is not the combination that leads you to success. But like I said, they made the Kingmaker effect. They played the sacrificial lamb, or whatever you want to call it. They, laid down on their sword, proverbially speaking, and they did a wonderful job. Balancing this game out, slowing this player down, squash on squash. But it looks like they may still pull it out. Who knows? Harvesting. Another token here. So wild finish. Yeah, I'll get rid of the potatoes. It's not gonna happen. God, broccoli, radishes. I've never seen anybody so stymied for no reason. Okay. Radishes charred. Gambling is not gonna happen. You're gonna be productive, and that may do it. That's gonna do it, because you're gonna disc and everything they can. Radishes. Good stuff, I guess. Broccoli. So this was a wild finish. It looks like they may win after all. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. So that officially ends the game. They're going to harvest. Everybody's going to harvest. They get to collect though. So from each of those harvests, none of those are two crop combos. They're not. They're going to get their 4 tokens though. Okay. Over here, this person's going to harvest 1. So they get to collect from them. All of these are half value. Chard's going to be first. Let's see how we do. Broccoli at 4. Radishes and kale. Kale got 3. We're up 2. Radishes we got 2. Exception not enough for a subsidy. That may do it. Okay, but this person also gets to play their adversity card. Or, yeah, if they wish. So that's going to nullify their gains. They have to respect the organic sprayer though, right? So they played the wrong card on somebody. Uncultivated status. So the better thing they can do is play this card. And only on this person. Which unfortunately they can't bring their beans. Okay, so there's that. Now they're going to harvest over here. Beans on the wrong one. Still bring them 6 tokens. And then they're going to harvest potatoes for free. Ooh, which is 11. So wow. I mean, this is a close game. Okay, so stay tuned for the final finish. We're going to take a TV timeout. Stay tuned for the final tally, right? So we got, okay, so, wow. Final tallies. Here's the final tallies. Final tallies for these particular growers. This player was really super strong, but they had massive, massive debt, and nobody knew it, right? And so they actually had a negative score. They scored 26. But 56 came off, so bottom line was they were in the hole, negative 30. Over here we did very well. We had 45 positive tokens, but 41 came off, leaving us a net of 4. And then of course over here we have the stymied game where it was not their fault. They did their best with the Kingmaker effect, and they scored negative 8. It was 13 positive total tokens and a negative 21. So in that particular case, very fascinating game. We had some interesting things going on. Very late scoring. This is the first game where I've seen where nobody scored early. So I don't know what to make of that, but you can analyze this game further and see what mistakes were made by each of these growers. And you can begin to understand like what is so super compelling about this game. The more that you invest in it. So we're going to leave it at that. So thank you very much, and have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye.
bum bum bum